E kare mā, kua pari mai anō te tai o mate ki ngā ākau o te ao Māori. Ko Takutai Kemp. Ko riro atu nei i te tai timu ki ngā puna ngahuru o Moana tū Wātea. Ko ngā pari ka rangaranga o te motu ka ngū, engari ka hotu, ka mapu. Aotearoa is grieving the loss of Te Pāti Māori MP Takutai Kemp, who has passed away at the young age of 50 years old after a short battle with kidney disease. A passionate advocate for Māori health, rangatahi and community well-being, she was a pioneer in using hip-hop to connect with youth. Ko ia hoki te tāhuhu rangapu o mua o te Marae o Manurewa, and she was awarded the New Zealand Order of Merit for her services to the community.
This isn't about me, hey? I think this is actually all about our rangatahi, our whānau, and being able to share Aotearoa, our culture, how we see hip-hop dance in this country, and we've taken it to the world.
Whether they are Māori, Pacific, transgender, lesbian, you know, whatever our rangatahi are and whatever they want to be, that we want to support them and provide a space for them to grow and learn, as they are going to be the leaders of our popo.
It's important for us to be able to provide a Māori community approach.
Ko paua te tāhuhu rangapu o te Marae o Manurewa a Takutai Kemp. Hei māngai mo te ropu torangapu Māori ki te tūru Māori o Tāmaki Makaurau. Hei te kōwhiringa pōti I tēnei tau.
And they said, Whare, we believe in you. We think you can win. Let us be absolutely clear. This is not equal pay legislation. This is pay oppression in disguise. You know, there's a cost of living crisis and our people need kai. And we know from generations of experience, when the law gives discretion to the powerful powerless get burned. Whānau, we are nearing the end of the Regulatory Standards Bill submissions. Never forget, we are magic people. We live in an Aotearoa hau. We will walk and talk, and we are proud to be Māori. Toitu te reo Māori, toitu te whenua, toitu te tiriti, believe in you, believe in me, believe in Māori. Kia ora.
Nā reira, e te hoa, e Takutai, ka hoki ngā maumaharatanga ki tō ngā kautūwhera ki te manaaki i aku tono katoa kia noho tahi tāua, kia wānanga tahi tāua. Tai o tira hoki ki tō manawa nui ki te hāpai ake I te katoa, a hakoa ko waia hako nōhea. Ko o koha nui ki te ao e hoa, o koha nui ki te ao whānui, ki te ao Māori anō rā hoki, e kore mahue I te pai o whakaaro nui. Noho atu rā koe ki te tomo au o te wā. Ka te hae tiwi, ko te akaka o te pō ki o tātou mate, ko te akaka o te ora ki a tātou I te ao mārama nei, ti he mauri ora, nau mai anō ki tō tātou marae I tēnei ata. Now, with 170,000 Māori now calling Australia home, Te Rauhiringa Brown crossed the ditch to Melbourne, where for the first time Māori gathered for a communal hautapu, standing with the local Indigenous people, two cultures, one kaupapa, welcoming Matariki together.
Ngā kai a Matariki nāna I awa ke arunga. Ara, ko Matariki hunganui.
Tīkina, turanga, kōrera te wānanga, tīkina, turanga, te hautapu a mariki, kauwhatatia e tāne te wānanga, kirunga ki e nei taura, kirunga ki e nei tauira, ia koe I te matapunenga maiangi, I te matapu I hoi.
E puki ana ngā mahara ki taku matua ke kia te oriori pautapu I hinga ia I tēnei tau hoki. I started crying. Oh man, the feeling is, it's nothing, you can't describe it.
We had lots of, even Pākehā come out to see, you know, what the kaupapa is about and learn about it.
That was my first ever hautapu. Even living back home, I've never been to a hautapu.
Waimari mātou, ki te whiwhi tēnei kaupapa ki runga i te ngā whenua o ngā tangata moemoea o ngā iwi take o konei.
Maia, pautukawa maia, taramanuku maia, tawakarangi maia, ngā matatata Māori e. Hundreds of people have come together to welcome in the Māori New Year at the first public hautapu held here in Melbourne. This is a way for Māori living abroad to stay connected, to nourish the stars, collectively honour their mate and set clear intentions for the year ahead. And with over 170,000 Māori now living here in Australia, it's no surprise that kaupapa like this are in high demand. Ko ngā pātai nui, what does it take to uphold tikanga thousands of kilometres from home? How do you do so respectfully with the people of this land? And is it enough to stay connected?
Wai hoi hai tēnei whenua, hei tī taka wai mā te tangata.
Doug Petley has lived in Australia for 8 years. This morning he helps guide the hautapu, not only for the kāhui karakia, but for the local community.
Hei tēnei wāhi, ki te taha tika, ki te taha wātea. Whānau, whānau, hara mai te toki a tā huakirangi.
Tai mai mātou i te atanei, ki te mātou i te nuipuku. Hi nawa katoa te kiri. Ka patu harawati au e te mataku, e te whakamā. Engari ka tū i toko ake aku mahara ki ngā kupu kōrero. A mataia, a rangi mātāmua, a te pāpāpou. Tukuna te mātauranga kia rere. Tukuna whakatōria te mātauranga ki roto ki te whatu manawa. O te tangata e hiakai ana.
I rongo i te wairua o tēnā. Ai.
I heke aroi mata?
I heke aroi mata. Yeah, it really did. It was something special for our hapori and something that we can continue. So we just built a tua papa, you know, and then anyone is able to take it on board now.
And what makes it special for me is that I get to do it with my sister.
Yes.
And seeing her up there as a pai karakia this morning made me even more proud.
Thank you.
Ko e tehi o te kāhui karakia i whānau mai I konei. Ko e tehi o ngā Māori I tai mai te atanei, e rua e toru ngā whakareanga, I whānau mai rātou katoa I konei, ko tēnei te kāinga. Ko tēnei tō rātou kāinga. Nō reira, I toko ake te whakaro, hei ahua tēnei hunga hoki ai ki te kāinga. Well, ko te kāinga tēnei.
Among those Doug speaks of is Casey Merito. She plays a pivotal role in the hautapu, honouring Waiti.
I know a lot of whānau here, they're too scared to go back home because they're too whakamā. So even just get comfortable in these environments, come to kapahaka, come to mauraku, come join reo, do rāranga, whatever it is, like find your niche here, and then that's like a first step for you to build the confidence to go back home.
We've done a few kaupapa Māori here in Nārama, whether it be mahiraranga. Within our whānau we have a kairaranga and just running little wānanga here and there.
I definitely got the Mozzie, got the accent, or got told like, you know, why would you do Māori stuff? Like, you're in Australia, be Australian. And then going back home, it's like, oh, well, you finally feel like you're at home, but it doesn't feel like home because you don't feel as connected.
I hara mai a mataia, ki te noho me te wānanga tahi ki a mātau. Nera ka mihi au ki ngā mātauranga, maha ngā mātauranga, hohonu, te pono, I puta mai I tērā wānanga.
Kāre anō au I rongo I te patunga mai o te noho tawhiti pērā
me te ngana kia tairanga tonu ai I au, taku o Māori, taku Māoritanga. Nō reira, ka mihi ki a rātou I toro mai rā kia hau kia whai wāhi ai hau ki a rātou e tika ai te panuku whakamua o te waka hautapu umu kohu whetū.
I felt very comfortable in it because, like, yes, I was born and raised here. Yes, we're on a different whenua, but also this has been a home for me my whole life. So it only feels right to, you know, have my first proper hautapu kei konei. And having our Indigenous brother, Uncle Mark, having him started off and kind of set the tone, it just felt quite, like, special.
This is Uncle Mark Brown, a respected Bunurong elder. He welcomed the hautapu onto his whenua with a traditional smoking ceremony, a gesture of protection, weaving his tikanga with ours.
So proud to have all my Maori whānau here, all my brothers and sisters from across the pond. All right, and this is what it's all about. And as you guys came in, you would have seen the smoke pillowing from my little bowl there. All right, so what we were doing was I was cleansing the area, cleansing the space spiritually and medicinally. All right, so the plants that we use are our foods and our medicines. All right, and by cleansing the space and cleansing the people before you guys do your thing, all right, brings us all together, brings our ancestors together in the dreaming. So when we welcome people to country, when we do our ceremonies, our smokings and things like that, we're actually inviting people to join us, to come join our family.
I'm here to welcome everybody to my father's country. Beautiful Bunurong country.
When Uncle Mark was heckled during a welcome to country ceremony on Anzac Day, it was a powerful reminder that standing together matters more now than ever.
Look, at the time, it was a very, very lonely moment. It was one of the loneliest moments in my life. I stood there alone. You know, I was there for Anzac. We had Anzac there. We had our Australian, New Zealand brothers and sisters standing right in front of me, off to the sides and everything like that. Afterwards, I had the biggest show of support you could ever possibly imagine. Or I had fellas from New Zealand. I had your parliament call me personally to find out if I was okay and to tell me that they stood with me. All right, so that's support from around the world, you know, all my brothers and sisters. Like, and that just shows what it's all about. That just shows how everybody feels about coming and living with the oldest continuous living culture in the world.
Ko tērā hononga, kua roa nei mātou e ngana ana ki te whakarauora, ki te whakakaha, ki te whakatangata. Mihi atu ana ki tō tātou rangatira ki Uncle Mark. Nāna I whakae kia tū tēnei kaupapa ki runga I tōna whenua, I tōna whenua taurikura, ko tāna iwi, ko tēnei whenua, ko tāna hapu, ko tēnei whenua, ko ngā whanaunga, ko ngā rākau, ko ngā toka, ko ngā kōhatu, ko tāku I hono te Māori o Aotearoa ki te Māori o te whenua moemoea, I nā hoki rā te ata ahuatanga o te anga whakamuatanga o te ao take.
But living on Bunurong land means more than standing in solidarity. It's upholding the tikanga and customs of the mana whenua.
Your responsibilities are the same as our responsibilities, to follow our traditional law. L-O-R-E, not L-A-W. Right, so when I say law, I'm talking about here on Bunurong country, we follow Bunjil's law, or Bunjil's law. And Bunjil's law states that we look after our women, our children, and our country. All right, and those who are lost and those who are on our lands are invited in. They're welcomed into our family.
Paimari e katoa mātou, ngai Māori ki nā rama, ki te noho tahi, ki e rā momo tangata, I raro I o rātou whakae, I raro I o rātou mana me o rātou rekereke.
E tino hia kai ana te hapori nei I te ao Māori. Aha kua te aha. Aha kua te aha. So that's what we're trying to do, eh?
Yeah, you know, give them the experiences that we want to give our tamariki.
Yeah. And what we once had too, you know, growing up in kohanga reo and kura kaupapa, even reo rua, we were fortunate enough to be, you know, in wānanga mode and in te ao Māori. Yeah, so just feeding that to our hapori as well, and building that fire, te ahi ki roto i a rātou. So, kia arohatia i tō tātou nei ao Māori.
Ko te Māoritanga, ai kei Aotearoa e kaupapa haere nei, engari ahu ke mai tātou i wāhike. Nō reira, ko ngā Māori kei ahi te reiria, he wāhike a Aotearoa e ai ki a rātou ko te ira, te Māoritanga e harai te mea ko te whenua. Ko tō rātou kāinga tēnei. Ahakoa he kāinga taupuni o te Māori, he kāinga tonu tēnei. Nō reira, i haria e mātou te ao Māori ki a rātou. Ana, ka tū ki konei, ka mōhio mai ko ngā tamariki, ka mōhio mai ko ngā mātua, ngā pakeke ngā kau mātua, ahakoa kei tawhiti tātou e noho ana, kei konei tātou e mautonu ana ki ngā tikanga.
It's clear our people came here for opportunity and their Māoritanga came with them.
After 170 years, the government plans to scrap the traditional census and shift to a data-driven system using information from things like hospital forms, travel declarations and marriage licenses. It could save money, but it raises big questions about Māori data sovereignty, ethics and trust. As Te Mana Raraunga says, data is a living taonga that must be governed by Māori under Te Tiriti o Waitangi. So what does this mean for Māori? Well, we're joined by Caleb Moses, statistical analyst, and Ernestine Walsh, Māori Data Service Lead at Nicholson Consulting. Tēnā kōrua, mihana kia kōrua. Nau mai kia marae. Ernestine, tuatahi, how will the shift from traditional census to a data-driven system impact Māori?
Tēnā koe, Scotty. Well, there are a couple of key data points in the census that are highly relevant to Māori. So the census is one of the more comprehensive data sources when it comes to collecting iwi information. So by retiring the census, there'll need to be some thoughts and plans put into how they will collect that data for iwi in the future. The other key data points are around te reo Māori speaking ability. So currently the census captures te reo Māori speaking ability for everyone in Aotearoa. And so what it means is that you can forecast the next generation of speakers. We know it takes a generation to lose the language, but 3 generations to get it back. So it's really important that we're able to forecast now what changes are going to happen in the future so that we can get ourselves on the right path to revitalising te reo Māori. So those are just two of the major data points that will be impacted and have a large effect on Māori.
When we talk about the impact on Māori, how will it change the way that Māori data is collected and managed?
Koina te pātai nui. Something that we wrote about, we being Nicholson Consulting, was that there isn't, at this point in time, enough detailed publicly available information to describe what are the plans to help mitigate and manage some of the risks. So there are many unanswered questions. For instance, is the Crown going to restart capturing iwi information on birth certificates? Is there going to be funding for iwi or the runanga to carry out their own iwi census? Is there going to be more emphasis put on the Māori Cultural Survey Te Kupinga and expanding that to include tamariki Māori or carrying it out more frequently? There are a lot of unanswered questions at this point in time.
Yeah, he maha ngā pātai o tētahi pātai nui hoki e hoa. The risks to Māori data sovereignty, te rangatiratanga o te iwi Māori ki ēnei raraunga, what are going to be some of those risks?
So the way that we got into this situation is that the response rates to the census have been so low that they've called the value of doing a census into question. Now, the government has blamed Māori for that drop in response rates by saying, oh, well, Māori are not responding to the census, so we should go around the back door and collect the data some other way. I think that the problem for data sovereignty is that the government is not taking responsibility for their role in maintaining the trust of New Zealanders, and that's the reason why we are having this problem. Now, the way out is for them to invest in their trust and in that relationship and restore people's faith that this data is going to be used for a good purpose. That's how you would actually get people to respond to the census and do it properly.
Is it possible to create a data system that's te tiriti honoured, te tiriti led, and has Māori at the forefront of it? And if so, what would that look like?
So I think that over the years, the New Zealand government, this one and previous governments have systematically undermined their trust, our trust in them as a people, and that if they want to do things right over time, it's going to look like building that trust, and that's something that's going to take time. And it's also, I worry that that Stats NZ in this regard have been set up to fail. They've been given a task that's too big for any one government agency to do on their own, and that it's going to take a lot more than just promises from them, and that we should also think about shoring up our data systems for the future, especially in a world where we're having rising fascism and so on overseas. We should expect that data systems like this could be abused in the future, and we should be aware about those concerns.
Kōrero tāpiri tau ki ina whakaaro, like a treaty on a data system. We only got a very short time left, but I know you've probably got some opinions on what that would look like.
Ai, tautoko, tōku kāro e hoa. I think a system by Māori, for Māori, would be best, but it needs to be resourced appropriately. So from a pragmatic lens, I guess the most likely system to be set up that is by Māori for Māori is probably that the larger, more resourced iwi might be able to go out and carry out their own data collection.
And I would say they would need you two at the forefront of it as part of the building of this Te Tiriti-led data system collection that we would create. And I think with your two minds involved, ka taia e tātou. E mihi ana kia kōrua, tēnā kōrua. Rawe te whakarongo atu kia kōrua me o kōrua whakaaro. E mihi ana marae kia kōrua, tēnā kōrua. E Farenui kaore rite ana ki e rātu. Wharenui Harikoa has travelled the motu, drawing people in with its warmth and wonder. Now, this Matariki, she returns to where it all began, Tāmaki Makaurau. A final moment at home before her journey continues overseas. But as one whare comes home, another is quietly being born.
This is Wharenui Harikoa, the world's first crocheted wharenui. Born from a vision gifted in 2018, it took 2 years to bring to life.
My sister once described me as a creative nutbar. And I quite like that description. I am.
I introduced myself as a person that gets stuff done. And you know what I mean? I'm a real nuts and bolts practical thinker.
A true labour of aroha by artists Lissy and Rudy Robinson Cole.
Whare Harikoa is a direct manifestation of our union, and we see it as our child.
Since then, it's travelled the country, a glowing sanctuary that's welcomed thousands.
Wharenui Harikoa, she seems to be going wherever the healing is needed.
But as one whare finds its place, another begins.
If you give me this, so what it is, from the left we're going to come around like that, and then we're going to come through there.
Today's been a momentous day in the journey that the tupuna have gifted to us, this kaupapa of aroha, as expressed through the tui mawhai, through crochet.
This is their boldest kaupapa yet. Lissy and Rudy are dreaming up a whare kohanga, a life-sized crocheted space to honour the beginning of life itself.
We are so blessed to be supported by the most amazing people, our friends Libby and Tamara, who have gifted us their mātauranga, but mostly their aroha.
And this is where it all starts, their very first wānanga. Surrounded by mama, artists and midwives, they've come to learn, listen and weave together mātauranga on traditional Māori birthing.
Today with Tamara sharing about that the whare kohanga is us. It's a state of being. We've had a special day, a great turnout, some beautiful kōrero shared in the wānanga. Just here to make a contribution really to, I want to say, the goal of this whānau
the destination isn't really predetermined, so it's about understanding where we're at and where we want to go with whare kōhanga.
Working in the space of whare kōhanga, maternity, hine kōpū, you create a most delicious, safe space for our people in pregnancy and our birth givers and their whānau. And mo te tūpono, if I'm creating this most beautiful, safe space for this whānau, then this whānau is feeling all of the aroha to then give to their kōpū.
And so I know with this journey too, the whare kōhanga will show us what she needs to grow, you know, from the dream through to, from that realm through to this realm. I am but a pepi along with our whānau who are learning, because I, like so many, especially my age, only knew the Pākehā way. Our birthing practices about off you go to hospital and have your baby and, you know, and then go home and you're left to your own devices. The mātauranga will come and we'll just do our best to intuit which is the next right thing to do and which is the next right move to make as we now travel with Wharenui Harikoa and now with whare kōhanga to see where that will, how that will begin to grow.
As a new parent or as a parent, you want the best for your tamariki to come. And this is what we're doing. We're being proactive and providing that best start for our mokopuna, you know, and our child. So in our very unique way.
As a collective, they begin to crochet the very first pieces that will make up the whare kōhanga.
I would hope that everything that we're doing is helping to continue the work that everybody else is doing.
Letting that kōrero flow to educate us in that mātauranga. When my wife starts to dream about all these different dreams, I've got to be ready to get on the, you know, ready to make it happen. So, but that's ka pai.
While the vision for whare kōhanga begins to take shape, Farenui Harikoa is coming home. This Matariki she'll light up the Civic in Tāmaki Makaurau, free for all to experience from July 5th to July 27th.
And that's us for another week e Hoa Mā, ko te kaupapa kāia, ko te Māori kātau, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Ko te reo, te take.